All right, everybody, welcome back to Bloodborne. This is part 27, and now that we have defeated Lady Maria, we can hold up the Celestial Dial and go through the Astral Clock Tower to the fishing hamlet. Really haunting and creepy, yet kind of beautiful place, honestly. And we're going to come talk to this guy, see what he has to say.
Atonement for the wretches by the wrath of Mother Goss. Mercy for the poor wizened child. Mercy. Oh, please. Atonement for the wretches. Lay the curse of blood upon them and their children and their children's children forevermore. Each wretched birth will plunge each child into a lifetime of misery. Mercy for the poor wizened child. Let the pungence of cause cling like a mother's devotion. Atonement for the great curtains.
So I wanted to get all of the dialogue that I could possibly get from him, and I believe that that's it for now. We will go back and talk to him later. But we're going to light this lantern, and this was the original point at which I separated these videos. But I decided to include that at the beginning of this video, just because I thought it kind of flowed a little bit better. You can see a shortcut ladder we're going to open up in just a little bit. Like, honestly, one of the things that really stands out about this place is just how, grimy and, dirty. Like, there's all these barnacles on the wall there, which, I mean, I can assume that they're barnacles and stuff like that. And then these fish guys that come at you. It's just really, really creepy, really, really unsettling scenery. The environment of this place is really one of the best environments of Bloodborne, I think. And this actually works pretty effectively on me in grossing me out and whatever else it can do, because I find sea stuff generally creepy. Like, just the idea of a waterlogged town like this with all kinds of mold and disgusting stuff lurking in the water and whatever else might be there is just, oh, it's gross. So really, really effective environmental area here. And I also like how the stuff on the walls of all these houses, kind of look like eyes as well. I'm sure that that was entirely intentional. Also like this little green lantern type thing here. That looks really, really cool. The colors of this area are really, really nice. All the blues and, like I mentioned before, that lantern, the glowing green coming off of that is really cool to me. Just really, really like this area. I think I was trying to find a way up into the area where you can drop that ladder down. And ended up getting the pursuers thrown at me a little bit. And that's actually coming from this, um, I guess you would call him a mage-type enemy, who's just kind of sitting there chilling at the well, and he'll just continuously shoot those at you until you take care of them. And then you've got this thing. These are the shark giants. And I decided to learn how to parry them. Which I fail a couple of times, but for the most part, I got this one pretty well. So I just wanted to show that if you are having trouble with these things, which I know there are people who do, you can parry them, and their parry window is actually pretty wide. So if you're doing enough damage on them, you can take them down in about 3 to 4 parries, and they won't be as much of an issue for you. Now, the variant that carries the anchor is a completely different story, and you will see me die to that one, I think, a couple of times, and I end up running past them, because I just didn't see the point in actually fighting them. But their parry windows are pretty wide as well, and you can defeat them pretty easily if you practice the parries and you actually want to defeat them. This is the well that Maria throws her Rakuyo down in, but in order to get it, you have to fight that shark giant and one that's kind of walking around down there. And since I had no desire to get the Rakuyo in this playthrough as of right now, I decided to just leave that alone. Now, the way that that encounter is set up in the well is the shark giant that is chilling on the ceiling will not come down and is not able to be damaged at all until you actually get the other one who's walking around at the bottom to half health. And once that one is at half health, the one on the ceiling will come down and you'll be facing 2 of those at once. It's sort of like the gargoyles fight in Dark Souls 1. Except much more dangerous, because those things do not play very nice. I have done that encounter a few times, and I've done it without the cheese method, but I also think the cheese method is really fun to do. And what that is taking a shaman's bone blade, which you should have, you know, a couple at this point in the game, and if you don't, I believe you can buy them from the Insight Bath Messengers. So you're definitely able to get 1 or 2. And what you want to do is, once the second one comes down, you hit one of them with the Shaman Bone Blade and they'll fight each other. So that's really fun to do and really fun to watch. And I actually kind of wish now that I'm recording the commentary that I had actually done that in this playthrough, but I honestly just didn't want to do it at this point in time, and by the time that I had finished Orphan of Kos and started going through the remaining Chalice dungeons, it was just kind of too late, and I completely forgot about going back here and getting the Rakuyo and doing that encounter. So my apologies for that. But up there, you can see we ran up and we kicked that ladder down. But there is another area that we can get to right here where we can grab that item that was in that house that we were in a little bit ago. And you're just want to be careful, because there will be a few of these fish guys that tend to jump down at you in a few parts of this level. And there you can get the Harrowed set and a Bloodstone chunk. And I think you saw a little bit earlier, those little canisters on the ground there, they explode if you throw anything fire-based at them. So if I were to hit those with my weapon, they would explode. And again, like in the Forbidden Woods, you have a encounter set up here where you have somebody throwing the oil urns at you and trying to light you on fire by exploding those barrels that were outside. And those are the ones that exploded a little bit earlier. So another really good encounter. And I've said it a few times before, but I think that Bloodborne does encounters really, really well. Even the two shark giants in the well, that encounter is kind of bullshit at first, I think. But once you realize how to handle it and take care of it, it actually does become kind of fun to do. I do want to mention that in one of the wikis where you can look up enemy details and stuff like that, for the shark giant, they just have bullet points that kind of tell you how to fight them, but the first bullet point is give up, which I've always really, really appreciated about this community. We all know that that enemy is kind of bullshit sometimes. But that's what makes Bloodborne Bloodborne, and that's what makes Souls games, is just the ability to overcome enemies like that, and to overcome these fish dogs that are just as annoying as regular dogs in all of the Souls games. But yeah, that's what I love about these games. And that's what I love about the community that surrounds these games is, you know, we kind of make little jokes like that in the wiki and whatever else because we know it's bullshit, and that's why we love it, and that's why we have fun with it. And you're actually about to see just why these shark giants can be kind of bullshit sometimes in this next little fight that I'm going to have with one. I will say that the amount of damage that I'm doing to these fish people is insane. When I came through here on the first playthrough that I ever did going through this DLC, I was not doing that much damage. It would take about maybe 3 or 4 hits to, you know, take one down. And I think that was because I was just using the saw cleaver at that point, and I didn't really have that many blood gems that were really good. Speaking of shark giants, I forgot that he lunged at you from behind. I thought you had to get further up the hill there. So I lure him back here to get away from the mage guy that's casting pursuers at me. Yeah, as you can see, you can definitely parry him. This one has a lot more health than the one that we took down earlier, though. So even though the parry windows are still very generous and you can still definitely take them down, they have that extra health that just kind of makes them a little bit more difficult. And of course, using that gigantic anchor, that makes it even worse. So yeah, I tried to parry that lunge attack and it didn't quite work on that. So I realize that this cut is a little weird, but we're going to go back to the research hall and we're going to talk to Adeline and try to finish up her quest line.
Hello? Please, somebody, I need help. I'm trying, but I'm afraid the sound is fading. Hello? Is that who I think it is? Please. Oh, please, I need brain fluid. Please bring me brain fluid. I must have it. That sound, it is all that guides me. Without it, I'll be sent back to my former, lesser years. Yes, that's it. Let me have it. I can hear it. Yes. The sound that guides me. Thank you. Thank you so much. You have saved me. Take this charm. Lady Maria gave it to me, but it is all I can offer, other than my own blood. Please, do not abandon me. I promise to do good. Oh, hello. Do you hear that? The sticky sound, as clear as day. Slip, slop, drip, drop, slip, slop. How extraordinary. Do you think that water drips even down deep below at the bottom of the sea? Can you hear it? Drip, drop, slip, slop. Drip.
So we get the balcony key for giving her the second dose of brain fluid there. And the reason I decided to come back here after dying to that fish guy was because it just randomly kind of occurred to me, like, oh wait, you need to go back and do this now that you've reached a new area, so you can see if you can actually continue with her quest line. So this is what the balcony key opens up, and we'll go check that out in just a little bit. But we're going to reload the area and try to finish her quest line. And unfortunately, even just using a bold hunter's mark to go back to the lantern does not go to the next part of her quest line. So what I actually had to do was go back to the hunter's dream and then come back here again so that we could continue on. And she's out of her chair now and behind the door.
Oh, hello. One last time. Will you fetch brain fluid just one last time? A murky, mushy fluid that will make me whole. The sticky sound whispers to me. So very close, right into my ear. My head, just a head, that's all there is. I need my baptism. Please, I beg of you. I want to be something. Please.
So the way that you get the third brain fluid is you kill her.
Please, give me brain fluid.
And then after you kill her, she will come back to life and you can give her her own brain fluid.
Please, give the sticky sound. I see a shape. My guide, I see your voice. Clearly as it bends and bleeds. just for me. Thank you for everything. Really, I used to be nothing.
So now that she has completed her evolution, or whatever you want to call that, she dies. So yeah. And in completing her quest line, we get the Milkweed rune, which is actually going to allow us to get an item from the guy that we were talking to at the beginning of the fishing hamlet. And that was one of the reasons that I went back and did this, was so that I could get that item and that I don't actually forget to actually do all of this stuff. I wanted to do this before I actually went into the fishing hamlet, but I think I just got too excited to continue on with the game, so I ended up just continuing and not really thinking about this particular area. Now down there you'll see all of the patients that are taking care of the lumen flowers down there. And you can also break that glass to get into the top area of the cathedral there. Now if you go down here, they will all start doing the same thing that the living failures were doing, and shooting this arcane spell stuff at you. And that can be kind of annoying and kind of hard to get to the item that we're actually trying to get to, which is the Black Sky Eye. And as you can see, they were actually able to snipe me, and I died. But yeah, as you can see, this looks a whole lot like Upper Cathedral Ward, doesn't it? Looks a whole lot like the area that we had to go through to fight Ebritus. And I didn't make the jump, so I had to Bold Hunter's Mark out and go back. So I don't necessarily know if this is supposed to be the same exact area as Upper Cathedral Ward, but honestly that makes sense to me, based on what's going on here, the fact that it has a lot to do with the healing church and all that kind of stuff. I could imagine that the Altar of Despair is down below, and this area may have been brought into the nightmare and created to look like things that the hunters knew beforehand. Or this could be some sort of representation of what was actually in the real world to just make the hunters think that this was where they were at while they are trapped in the nightmare. I don't really know, honestly. It's fun to speculate, though. I think that if they were going for the idea that this was Upper Cathedral Ward at one point, that it would have been cool if they would have put an Ebritus fight in here or something like that. I realized that that would have been just reusing a boss, and they kind of did that a few times in this game already, but still, I kind of thought it would be a little cool to see, maybe like a warped form of Ebritus or a darker form of her or something like that. I just always thought it would have been cool. Though I am glad that they kind of kept it to uh, the bosses that they did keep it to, so as not to reuse and recycle boss fights more times than they really needed to in this game. And that could just be because I really like the Abritus fight. Or it could just be that I kind of wish that you could go down and visit her or something like that. And being as you would potentially have the make contact gesture at this point, I think it would have been cool if maybe you could have gone down there and used the make contact gesture with her and, maybe gotten something for it. And just, I don't know. I thought it would have been cool if that's what they were going for, but maybe they weren't going for the research hall being a part of Upper Cathedral Ward. Who knows? I have no idea what their thought processes were in a lot of this stuff. I do know one thing though, and that is the whole make contact gesture thing being used only once to make contact with the brain of Mensis. I think kind of sucked. I really wish that they would have put a better use for that thing, especially because you are in the presence of a few different gods. Like you're able to see Rom and go up to her before attacking her. And if you were able to get the make contact gesture before Rom and make contact with her somehow, I thought that might have been pretty cool. And also you reach Abritus in the Altar of Despair, and you're not able to do anything with her but fight her. Just some stuff that I thought would have been pretty sweet to see, and stuff I do wish that they would have put in the game.
Mercy, mercy. Curse here, curse there. Curse for he and she. White hair. A bottomless curse. A bottomless sea. Source of all greatness. All things that be. Listen for the baneful chants. Weep with them as one in trance. And weep with us. Oh, weep with us. Listen for the bane, a call to the bloodless wherever they may. A call to the bloodless wherever they be. Fix your ears to hear our calls.
So if you equip the milkweed rune, your head turns into a very large broccoli, and you can come back here and talk to him, and he'll give you some more dialogue, which is basically just a poem, I guess, and you will get the Accursed Brew, which is another arcane spell that I wanted to pick up and be able to use. The Milkweed Rune also gives you a slight boost in your item discovery as well, so it can be pretty useful to have. And of course that is what we got from doing the Adeline quest line. But that's going to do it for this episode. Thank you very much for watching, and I'm sorry about the random cut back to finish those quest lines, but I did want to get those out of the way. So thank you very much again, and I'll see you in the next one. Have a great day.